In the ultimate gambler's town, 3 drivers have come to play the final hand of the American Le Mans Series. Elliott Forbes Robinson has seen it all in a long career. David Brabham hails from one of racing's great families. And Eric Bernard, for whom Le Mans is part of his country's sporting heritage. It's time for the final ante. 3 men, 1 title. Who will hit blackjack today in Las Vegas? The world center of sizzle lends her glamour to the final round of the American Le Mans Series here on CNBC. Welcome to what should be a very dramatic Grand Prix of Las Vegas. When we last left you in Monterey, California, we said that Elliott Forbes Robinson enjoyed a 1-point lead over the teammates David Brabham and Eric Bernard, but recall that those 2 dropped out of the race while leading within sight of the checkered flag. A subsequent audit of the results dropped them a couple of places further back. That gap is now 3 points from EFR to Brabham and Bernard. On the pole at a record lap of over 120 miles an hour, the Panos of David Brabham and Eric Bernard looking for championships. Starting next to them, their teammates Johnny O'Connell and Jan Magnussen in another Panos Ford. On row 2 will be Eric Van de Poel and Mimo Schiatarella in a surprisingly swift Riley and Scott chassis with a Formula One Judd engine. That same engine is in the Lola chassis piloted by Jean-Marc Gugnon and French countryman Christophe Tinceau. Starting 5th will be the BMWs, a bit of a disappointment for J.J. Leto and Steve Soper. Starting next to them, their teammates Bill Auberlen from California and Germany's Joe Winkelhock. The green flag waves and we are underway at Las Vegas.
Well, picture-perfect start for Panos. They are side by side going down into one, and there. That is the great move. Look at that from the outside.
Dyson cars in the blue up high.
Oh, an incredible move by one of the BMWs all the way to 3rd place from the 3rd row. Tremendous dive by BMW.
Look at the traffic through their cars bounding off of the curbing as they go onto the high-speed backstretch for the first time.
Panos won too, but look at BMW. Now, as Bob had mentioned, they have not had the best practice or qualifying sessions. In fact, it looks like the 0 car now is going all the way back to 4th place. The Dams Lola, the black Lola, is now up into 4th place. BMW running 3rd, right ahead of them. And that Lola has been blindingly fast. They started getting quick back at Laguna Seca, our last race, and they are getting better and better here, and their confidence is starting to soar.
It is Mimo Schiatarella of Italy driving that 0 machine. Joe Winkelhock in that white BMW has leapt into 3rd. Oh no, this is the 2nd place driver in the GTS Championship, Martin Snow from California. Here is where Jan Magnussen in the Panos overtook his teammate David Brabham for the race lead.
And I would imagine this is almost pre-planned because they have started on different tires. Brabham has gone very conservative. He wants to do everything possible to ensure the championship. He's willing to give up today's battle to win the overall war.
Now let's take up the GTS battle. There is the race leader.
Look at this too. Corvette now has had a really good weekend. They have been just remarkable. That is the leading Viper, but look at this. For the first time this year, the Corvette is not being lost. We've seen the Corvette qualify relatively close to a number of races, but usually the Viper runs off and hides. Well, not today. Corvette have done a lot of work. They're running very hard, and you can see even on a high-speed track like this, they're very much in contention.
Now let's move to the GT category. You're riding with the class leader, starting for pole, the number 23 Porsche 911 GT3R, being driven by Dirk Mueller of Germany.
Oh, and he had
contact with one of the prototypes.
Gosh, right there, that's one of the huge problems. Now, the car looks okay as we can see it, but you see how easily those things happen.
We are back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, working the 18th lap at the Grand Prix of Las Vegas, and there you see Alan McNish stationary.
Oh man, Alan, you shouldn't have been in there. He had no business getting inside. Well, you know what? I'm not so sure that was Alan's fault. I think he did have a right to that corner. He was...
Plenty of blame to go around there.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry, Alan, didn't mean to criticize you for that one. Here's the 16. Here's Weaver going underneath the BMW, perhaps. No, not yet. It is.
And the braking
for
the
BMW.
hairpin.
Oh, look at the rubber off the tires. Way too deep.
Joe Winkelhock sliding to the outside of the corner. James Weaver, opportunistic as ever. Another leg up in the running order for his teammate, Elliott Forbes Robinson, the driving championship leader who sits on the pit wall. Now, with David Brabham and his Panos in 2nd place, Elliott Forbes Robinson's teammate, James Weaver, in 3rd. Brabham leads the championship provisionally at this point by 1 point.
Indeed, the 16 car is in about 15 minutes earlier than they anticipated. And we have a new driver that, of course, will be the points leader, Elliott Forbes Robinson. Apparently, Weaver missed a shift. That cost him some time coming in.
Well, Elliott Forbes Robinson, the championship leader among the drivers, has good reason to be concerned. He is down to one car now. You heard Steve Evans mention the problem with the 20 car, and that problem appears to be terminal. The car is parked on the infield. Butch Leitzinger trailing a stream of oil as the car rolled to a stop in the middle of the track.
Oh, and there's one of the Porsches off. Right into our camera. My Lord, unbelievable.
Pounding the steering wheel.
Let's see, you can see he's trying to get the car moving, so it was a light hit. Isn't amazing? Look at the body. The car isn't really damaged. That's the benefit of a tire wall. Oh, boy.
That is Scott Peeler from Sandy, Utah, sharing that car with Mike Doolin. Magnuson is now in as he brings the car down to the 50-mile-an-hour pit lane speed limit. Let's go down to Steve.
And they're pitting exactly on the lap they anticipated at the start of the race. You're right, the Dane, Jen Magnuson, is out. For good old USO, the A goes in, Johnny O'Connell. Here's something interesting. They had originally intended to double stent the right side Michelin tires. They have such a pad, I'm told they're going to go ahead and change all 4 tires simply because they can. No, this is not an instant replay. It's just a very similar looking car with exactly the same kind of pit stop. David Brabham is out. His good buddy Eric Bernard of France is in. The two hope to share this championship if all things come together at the end of the day.
Here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we are under our first caution of the day. As you see, race leader Johnny O'Connell in the Panos, lined up behind the safety car.
Well, just as we talked about before, exiting the pit lane, the Porsche gets on the gas way too early on cold tires, rams into the Ferrari, and literally pushes him into the wall.
That was Didier Taze of Belgium, who got out absolutely irate, but Joel Reiser got his Porsche back on track, and away he went. We'll talk about it later, bucko. Now, during the caution, our championship leader, Elliott Forbes Robinson, right there in a 16 car, came in for a pit stop, and this could be significant because by our calculations, he'll have to make just one more stop, perhaps put James Weaver back in the car, but at any rate, EFR is looking pretty good right now. But remember, that Dyson Racing machine has been having some sort of fuel problems in the early going.
They came in absolutely to take advantage of this full course yellow and top off that tank.
Johnny O'Connell and Jan Magnuson in the number 2 are leading over Bill Auberlin and Joe Winkelhock. And then Bernard and Brabham trying to overhaul EFR for the championship. For his part, Elliott Forbes Robinson runs in 5th spot. Meanwhile, up front, Johnny O'Connell, getting really his first taste of racing in anger in this car today, is simply flying. He has a huge interval over the 2nd place car of Joe Winkelhock.
Well, JJ Leto has done it again. He made a poor tyre choice first time out in the 42 car, which is why he changed tyres and Joe Winkelhock in the 43 BMW didn't. He saw that Winkelhock was quicker than him in the initial stint, so he stayed in, and he has chosen a new set of tyres of the same compound of Winkelhock's 43 car. As a result, he is now right with the 43, and he is looking to improve his performance.
There it is, the number 42 BMW of JJ Leto, who took 2nd place from Eric Bernard a moment ago. Let's take another look at that pass, Bill Adam.
Well, JJ got a tremendous run onto the straight, and even the awesome power of the Panos. Look at this, the BMW has just blown by the top side, takes great braking going down into turn 1, and makes this pass very cleanly.
Meanwhile, Elliott Forbes Robinson is running in 6th place. So here's a look at how the points stand right now. Brabham and Bernard tied. The L means that David Brabham has led a lap and picked up a bonus point. The F means Eric Bernard has set fast lap, picked up a bonus point to maintain that tie. Now let's go check in with the GT class, and another great battle is going on with championship implications. The 23 car of Kurt Wagner back there, the white and blue Porsche 911 GT3R, is coming up behind Johannes van Overbeek, who is desperately trying not to go a lap down.
Now look at the BMW, suddenly, and bang, you've got contact going down into 1. That was almost a desperation move on the part of the BMW driver. Could easily have taken Wagner off the track, out of the race, that one move.
Interval back, and look, new 2nd place runner. Bernard is now back up into 2nd place. Leto drops to 3rd.
This is wonderful. Right now, Leto has been just going through this field like a surgeon. He has been cutting in here and there, and maybe, we don't know what happened right now, but maybe he got tangled up.
Back at the Grand Prix of Las Vegas here on CNBC, Stop the Presses, another dramatic twist in the championship. There is Eric Bernard, who has set fast lap in the race to come into a tie with his teammate David Brabham for the championship lead, but the car is hurt. Brabham was involved in a multi-car incident down in turn 1 and has limped it back to the pits.
Look at this now, watch the Ferrari up ahead. Watch him. He spins around. He is losing it backwards. You think everything is safe across the grass? Now just keep your eye. He's going to try to get back underway. No, sitting kind of halfway blocking the track. Now you're going to see people panicking up behind him. Suddenly this Porsche, he became aware of what was going on, locks up. That had forced the panos up high, and he is just, he's in a state of shock right now.
Now while all that was going on, Elliott Forbes Robinson, the points leader coming in the championship, pitted the Dyson car and gave it back to his teammate James Weaver, who started it. There's Weaver leaping over the car to get back in the driver's seat.
Well, the word of Dyson is that although James Weaver and the Dyson team reacted very, very quickly to the yellow flag, there was no pace car, but they came in anyway to get EFR out of the car and put James back in. They've given him a fuel tank absolutely brimmed to maximum, but even if their bad fuel pickup problem doesn't come into play, they will still need to do one full stop and a splash to get to the end of the race.
Thank you, Martin. You're watching Eric Bernard back on track. He is one place behind the number 16 of James Weaver, who has taken over from Elliott Forbes Robinson. They are on the same lap. Meanwhile, Johnny O'Connell leads the race over the BMW of J.J. Leto. Bill Auberlin has gotten into the third-placed BMW. Jean-Marc Gounon, Christophe Tinceau are in fourth in their Lola, and then James Weaver. So right now, Elliott Forbes Robinson, if the race were to end right now, is back in the championship lead by 3 points. Now let's take a look at why the 91 car, that Dodge Viper, is where it is.
And just a little slide for life. That was David Donahue driving right there. Probably got on the outside part of the track, where after this much racing, there's a buildup of rubber, dust. In fact, you see it right there. Look at all the little bumps across the track.
Well, the reason that Eric Bernard keeps falling back is that they broke the front splitter, and I'll let Bill Adam explain that. Now, they say that they're okay on fuel to the end of this race. By my watch, it's very iffy, but then I have a very cheap watch. But then again, it is the front splitter that's giving him handling nightmares.
16 car is in the pits. This is the point leader's ride. James Weaver will stay in. But remember, I said before the break that EFR's car would need a splash and a full tank. This looks like the time they're going to have to take the full tank. But wait and see how the splash develops towards the end.
Oh boy, look at him wiggle when he came down straight through. He didn't make the turn.
Yep.
Now, because he did not actually pick up a position, the stewards talked about this prior to the race, and they said, all right, if you just happen to go too deep under braking, you've got the choice of, instead of trying the corner, spinning out, potentially scattering dirt and debris every place. In fact, he's got smoke off the right front wheel. I believe that's why he went straight through. He's got a flat tire.
Yep. Well, you wonder how much heartbreak one team can stand. First, it looked like they had a lock on the Drivers' Championship. Then it looked like they had a lock on the race victory, and now it may all blow up. Steve Soper now takes the lead. Magnussen sitting calmly as you possibly can in the Panos Roadster.
And Steve, behind it comes the other car, the other Panos for Eric Bernard.
Remember,
Boy, oh boy, well, Dyson's car is continuing around as both Panos have had a problem. Now, it looks like they were getting ready to pull the nose off the car. I wonder if they've got some sort of an overheating problem or what is going on.
even my cheap watch said they had to come back in for fuel, but this is a compounded problem with the engine. You can see the smoke literally coming out of this front engine roadster and out of the car. This is it, terminal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real disappointment for everyone. You know, the Vistin Panos team have done a fantastic job all year. Michelin have also just been awesome. I mean, I believe we've had the best tyres out there. You know, that's racing. You know, at the beginning of the race, we looked like we had everything wrapped up. It looked all very nice and neat and tidy. Everything was working well. And then something like this happens, you know. I mean, unfortunately, that's it. And, you know, if Elliott's champion, then I congratulate him.
Now there is Jan Magnussen in the other car that had that right front wheel problem. He has been off and on the racetrack. He is currently third. behind the BMW. Steve Soper, the car he shares with J.J. Leto, now shown as first. Bill Auberlen in the car he shares with Joe Winkelhock, running second. Then this car, the Magnuson-O'Connell car, followed by Gugnon and Tinso in the Lola in fourth. And then James Weaver in the car he shares with Elliott Forbes Robinson in fifth. Oh, Magnuson and the other Panos.
Everything is suddenly going wrong for Panos. He has gone straight through once again. Had to rejoin the track very carefully after missing a braking part. Unbelievable. Throughout all of practice, all of qualifying, the Panos have been blindingly fast at this track. The BMWs, on the other hand, they've admitted to endless frustration through their time here. Nothing would work. The cars had huge understeer. They couldn't solve the problems. And they were saying that, now here, just in the background there, that's at the end of the back straight. He tried to get as deep as possible, couldn't slow the car down, and spun the thing around.
Steve Soper at the controls. The final lap of the 1999 American Le Mans Series season. For Soper, it will be his third victory of the year. For J.J. Leto, who has had other co-drivers, his fourth. And well earned.
Why is he slowing down?
Wait a minute.
No. Not again.
Wait a minute.
Could he be out of gas? I bet he's out of gas. He is coasting.
The second place
listen.
car.
Listen to it.
This may be for photographic purposes. Now he picks up speed again.
I bet money on it, Bob, because he has slowed down so much you can hear the car is still running.
Oh, boy.
Jeez, yeah, here he is. He's back up to speed now.
We'll have to have a harsh word with that boy. Here comes his teammate Bill Auberlen. Formation finish for BMW,
classy.
and why not?
Great job.
You said it, Bill. Problems all weekend long, and the drivers and the crewmen were absolutely concerned about putting on a good show today, and now they finished 1-2. Our GTS leader, the number 92 Viper from Team Orica, Carl Wendlinger and Tommy Archer. And here is the 23 car for Cord Wagner and Dirk Mueller that will carry Wagner to the driving championship in the GT class. They will finish unofficially in 13th place. There is the number 92 in the hands of Carl Wendlinger. He will finish 9th overall. Unofficial results: victory for Steve Soper and J.J. Leto in their BMW. Their teammates Bill Auberlen and Joe Winkelhock finished second. Elliott Forbes Robinson, driven home by teammate James Weaver, to claim the championship. Final points for the season in the prototype division. EFR claims the driving title by 6 over Brabham and Bernard.
We didn't look very quick at the beginning, but we had a bit of luck and we had reliability, and we didn't make any mistakes. So I'm very pleased for BMW, for the team, for JJ did a great job to come back, and I still take it. We deserve it.
All in all, it's a season of sports car racing that everyone will remember for a very long time. Who was going to hit blackjack today in Las Vegas? Well, there's an old saying, experience beats youth and enthusiasm every time. Today, experience won out. Congratulations to champion Elliott Forbes Robinson. You've been watching the American Le Mans Series on CNBC.